Hello, everybody. Greg Peterson alongside Steve Sipple. And Sip, Nebraska coming off a bye week. We finally get a chance to hear from the coordinators. It's been 3 weeks. Can you believe that?
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, it's been kind of a whirlwind around here.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we did get to hear from Mark Whipple and Bill Busch today. And I think, Bill Busch had some interesting things to say that kind of stood out to you.
Yeah, Bill Busch, by the way, the new defensive coordinator.
Right. No stranger to that job.
Right. He makes the move over from special teams coordinator. First of all, Greg, he's familiar with the players because he was a special teams coach. He worked with the linemen. He worked with a lot of the main guys on defense. So there's a relationship there. On the other hand, it's sort of interesting, and he sort of just said it in passing, Greg, but Bill, it wasn't like Bill was in the defensive meetings.
Mm-mm.
So Bill had to learn this defense's terminology. He had to learn the terminology, Eric Chenander's terminology. Eric Chenander no longer here, obviously. Other staff members, Barrett Rude, Mike Dawson, Travis Fisher are here. So Bill learned that terminology. That's not necessarily an easy thing.
No. Especially in that short amount of time.
Right. Thank God they had a bye week.
Yep.
That definitely helped. Bill also talked about the things that, now, it's not like he volunteered this information. He said it in the course of the discussion with media, but in that discussion, he noted that the big issues have been gap integrity, tackling, and he talks a lot about just failure to get feet set.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of things, Greg, that made an impression on me.
Yeah, and he was very forthcoming. When he made his opening statements and praised the kids on how they've handled everything and praised the whole coaching staff on how they've handled everything.
Yeah.
And basically said that it wasn't really a hard transition for him because he's done that job before and he enjoys coaching defense.
Yeah, I think the first word he said in his opening statement, Bill had an opening statement, was wow. Have these kids responded well?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, are they working hard? And they're in a tough situation. And what I've heard, Greg, is that Mickey, and this isn't what you'd call real premium insider information, but I have heard that priority A for Mickey Joseph, the interim head coach, and Bill, is to pump confidence into these guys, pump good feeling.
Absolutely.
Because we're in a very odd season right now, Greg. Nothing like you've ever seen.
No.
Right? Nothing like I've ever seen.
Nothing.
We're old amigos.
Yeah.
We haven't seen stuff like this. So the kids are in a very tough situation, the players. And it is tough. I don't care what. I hear from people sometimes say, come on, Sip. It's not that hard for those guys. Yeah, it's pretty hard, actually.
When you lose your mentor when you're 19 years old, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
These guys didn't sign up for this.
No, not this kind of season.
But moving over to the offense, Coach Whipple spent some time with us today too.
Mm-hmm.
What did you take away from what Coach Whipple had to say?
Well, Whipple still has his sense of humor intact.
Obviously,
he said that he told Mickey, you got to move your stuff out of this assistant coach's locker room so we can make fun of you. We make fun of our boss, right?
Exactly.
Is that what everybody does in this world?
I think so.
Make fun of their boss.
I think so.
Whip talked about protection breakdowns against Oklahoma. Nebraska gave up 4 sacks. Each of those sacks, Greg, Whipple said was a communication issue, not a physical breakdown. He said it wasn't like we were getting beat up front man to man. We just had communication issues.
Yeah.
So, that's something that you can work on and get better at. That was my biggest takeaway from Whip.
Yeah, and he talked a little bit about some injury situations like a Thomas Fedoni.
Yeah, he said Fedoni's out here running around but not practicing. So he doesn't have shoulder pads on, doesn't have a helmet on, but he's out here running around, just not practicing. That still feels to me like if Thomas Fedoni is going to play this year, it'll be late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Late in the season.
Yeah, he's running routes on air right now.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously he touched a little bit on the loss of A.J. Allen, who was really having a fantastic freshman season. And unfortunate that he'll be gone the rest of the year.
Yeah, it is unfortunate because A.J. Allen, I mean, it got to the point where I didn't think he was too far behind Anthony Grant. Now, Anthony Grant was clearly the number one, but A.J. Allen was playing at such key times in the game. Now, it was interesting listening to Mark Whipple. A guy like Mark Whipple, 65 years old, been coaching in college and the NFL for some time. Yeah. Those guys are very. Did you notice? It was like that happens. It's on to the next guy.
Exactly.
On to the next guy.
You have to. Yeah.
That's what it is. There wasn't a lot of emotion tied to the conversation. That's what happens. You're on to the next guy, and that next guy in this case is Gabe Ervin, and Gabe Ervin ran with a lot of passion against Oklahoma. I've said it a couple times, but Greg, I like the way he popped off the ground after he got tackled. I mean, he was up. Ready for the next play.
Absolutely. He's been chomping at the bit to get in
there. Yeah, Gabe Ervin's he's a high character guy. You know what? He could be very big on Saturday. He brings that energy that they need.
And he also mentioned Jacquez Yant as well. So, there's a stable of guys back there. So, the loss, it's bad, but it's not dire.
Right. We always thought that was a deep running back room. And you always know somebody's got to go down. Probably somebody else will go down.
Yeah.
I mean, you need 5. We've always felt that at Nebraska.
Right. And with some injuries on the offensive line, Ethan Piper penciled in to get the start this Saturday in place of Kevin Williams.
Yeah, Kevin Williams is down with a high ankle sprain. He'll be out 2 to 3 more weeks, according to Mickey.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's basically the rundown that we got today.
Okay.
We'll hear again from Coach Joseph again tomorrow. So we'll know a little bit more tomorrow going into Saturday night's game, homecoming game here against Indiana.